I'm Charles with Rocky Mountain ATV MC, and today we're going to show you how to install the Tusk UTV Adventure Roof Rack on your KRX 1000. Now this is simple to do. It's going to give you some additional storage space on your machine, and it's also super tough. Now this is going to be great for the person that's doing longer day trips or overland adventures. That way you can get some of your gear out of the cab, free up some leg room, and get your items securely attached to the top. Now you've got plenty of tie down points up there as well. So to get this installed, there's a couple things you want to know. Number one, you need a flat aluminum roof, and it's going to work seamless with the Tusk profile aluminum roof. And when you go to order this, you have a few different options. You can get this with that Tusk roof, you can get it by itself, or if you want to get it in a combo kit that includes a light bar with the roof and the Adventure Roof Rack, you can do that as well. So if you need to know how to install the light bar, if you're getting that kit, we have a separate video for that, so you're going to want to check it out. But for now, let's go ahead and get started. To do this job, you're going to need some common hand tools. The things you have to have are your 4 and 5 millimeter Allen keys or Allen sockets. We're using 13 and 10 millimeter combo wrenches. You're going to need a drill. The 21/64 inch drill bit is supplied, and you want to use safety glasses with that. Now, things that are nice to have that you don't necessarily have to have are a 5 millimeter ball Allen. We have a hook tool, as well as a 1/4 inch extension and a round file. To start out, we have all of the pieces for the Adventure Roof Rack laid out in order. Now, to give you guys a better idea of how this is going to be installed, first we're going to talk about these cross members. So that's these 4 pieces right here. And with these, the narrowest one is going to be in the front, the widest one in the back, and they actually have an angle on the edges, and that's going to follow the line of the roof. So be aware of that. These are your side rails, and then you have your back plate and your front plate. Now we've laid out our hardware in order as well. And with this hardware, you want to refer to your instructions, make sure it's all there. And then also each bolt is going to get 1 washer on it. Now over at the machine, we're showing you how to do this on the Tusk profile aluminum roof. But if you have a different aftermarket roof, the process still should be similar. The first thing you need to do is get these larger mounting bolts installed. To get these installed, what you're going to have to do is drill out the 4 mounting locations after you remove the stock hardware, and we're going to use a 21/64 inch drill bit for that. Now be aware that to keep the alignment of the roof, if you already have this stuff installed and tightened down, you want to do the front 2 locations first, loosely set these 55 millimeter bolts in place, and then we're going to move to the back and drill out those mounting locations. Now on the back mounting locations, you'll notice that the gusset in the frame, the hole through it is a little bit wider, so you should only have to drill through the roof. Now that we have our holes drilled out, the next step is to install the front cross member. So we can go ahead and remove the 2 bolts that we temporarily installed in the front of the roof. What we're going to do is add a washer to them. And then you're going to be going through this on these holes right here in the front. You're going to be going on that inner hole. Then we've got one of the black spacers. This is the 13/16 inch spacer. We're going to go into the roof, and before you go all the way through, you need to make sure you use the 1/4 inch spacer between the roof and the gusset. And then you have this nylock nut on the bottom side of the gusset. And we can do those same steps on the other side. Next, we're going to install both of the side rails. So with these, you want to make sure the fatter part is towards the front of the machine. You've got these 2 slots in the front that are going to go through the 2 holes in the front cross member. We're going to use our 20 millimeter bolts. We've got a washer on them. We'll go through both pieces, and then we'll put the nylock nut on the back side. And all of this hardware is going to be left loose until the end when we make our final adjustments. Now for the rear mounting locations that we just drilled out, what you're going to do is install the rear cross member. So again, this is the widest one, and you want to make sure that the tapered sides match the lines in the roof. And as you install this, it's going to install pretty much the same as your front cross member, except for we're also going through the side rail. So again, you've got your 55 millimeter bolt, then your washer, then you're going through the side rail, through the cross member, then you have the larger spacer, and then in between the roof and the gusset, you have the 1/4 inch spacer, and then the nylock nut on the back side. And then repeat those steps on the other side. And just be aware that to get the nylock nut installed, you're going to have that sitting against the gusset and then just thread this bolt into it. Next, we can install the rear plate. So you want to make sure you have the T in the correct orientation, and then you have these 2 bends on the very ends. Those are going to sit inside of the side rails. And with that sitting in place, you're going to use 4 of the 20 millimeter bolts. Make sure you have a washer on each of them, and then a nylock nut on the insides. Then you're going to do pretty much the same process for the front plate. Just make sure you have the logo in the correct orientation. And just like the back one, these bends, they're going to fit inside of the side rails. Next, we're going to install the 2 remaining cross members. Again, the wider one is going to be towards the back, shorter one towards the front. And we're going 3/4 down the side rail. There's a single hole. We're going to take our 20 millimeter bolt with the washer, go through that, then the side rail, and we have the nylock nut on the back side. Just make sure you're not going through the slots in the side rail. Now to get this nylock nut installed, so I'm just using an open end wrench. I'm going to set that under, and then I'm going to use my ball Allen to thread the bolt into this. And if you don't have a ball Allen, you can use just a regular Allen wrench. These are 5 millimeter, and it's going to work the same way. Now we can do the same steps for the other side as well as for the other cross member. Now that we have everything loosely installed, we can start tightening things down. But if you bought the kit that comes with the light bar, you're going to want to get that installed before you tighten everything, and we have a separate how-to video for those light bars if you need to know how to get those installed. So with that being said, when you tighten the roof rack down, you're going to start with each corner going all the way through the roof. Once those are all tightened, then you can start tightening the bolts on the roof rack itself. And you want to make sure everything's square as you do that. Now, one tip that can help you guys, this bolt right here, the nut on the back side is going to get in the way of the head of the bolt in this front corner. So you're going to have to remove that nut, get this bolt tightened up, and then you can tighten this bolt right here. Now the next step is optional, but if you're going to be putting heavier items on this adventure roof rack, you're going to want to do this. So what we're doing is adding some spacers on these cross members, and that's going to give some additional support. So to get these installed, what we're going to do is use the supplied 21/64 inch drill bit. We're going to use the center hole through the cross member as a guide, drill straight through. We're going to pop the spacers in. Then you have the 45 millimeter bolts with the washers. You're going to stick that straight through, and then you've got the nylock nut on the inside. And that's how you install the Tusk UTV Adventure Roof Rack on your KRX 1000. If you have any questions about the install process, leave those down in the comments below. And if you haven't picked one of these up yet, they're available on our website. Check the link in the description below. Now, if you want to see more helpful content like this for your side-by-side, then subscribe to our channel. I'm Charles with Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Thanks for watching.